Welcome back to Angling Buzz Ice. This episode's all about toothy predators. We're going to be mainly focusing on monster pike and walleye. Stay tuned, we got an awesome show ahead of you. To kick off the show, we're going to join Sjodin and Jeff Simpson as they visit Chad Schilling in South Dakota for some awesome pike and walleye action.
We're in South Dakota, again with Chad Schilling. Chad said he's on some giant South Dakota pike.
That's a good quality pike. They're so heavy. I mean, this fish is probably in that 38-inch range. We have an incredible lake herring population, and it's cut back on the numbers. We don't catch the numbers we used to, but when you get them, they weigh a lot. They're definitely not Jenny Craig Northerns. They're big fish.
Not only are we catching big pike, but you know what? This system has some really big walleyes.
I got a good walleye. We've been catching them just the normal walleye techniques, and we'll just kind of mix everything together and see how it turns out today.
He came in and gobbled that. I honestly didn't see him before I set the hook. It was just the classic walleye thunk, and I lifted and he was going crazy down there, so.
Let's go drill some holes.
All right, let's
Sounds good.
All right, well, here we are. We came out on the main lake. The ice is a lot thinner out here, but it's still good and safe. We're not pushing our luck, but it's not gonna last long. And this time of year, these fish, what they do, the pike and the walleyes, are moving towards these tributaries. And we're set up on a real long point. I mean, our inside tip-ups for northerns, where we have them set, it's 6 feet and it's real flat. And not 100 yards away, the guys are jigging off an edge where it drops into 50, 60, 70 feet. They're jigging up on the 40-foot shelf and then on in from there.
We're out here on a walleye pike mission. Now Ty and I have shifted out. We're out on the tip of this point that stretches way out into the lake. But up shallow, we have a bunch of tip-ups spread out up there, don't we, Ty?
Yeah, the beautiful thing is too, is we're in South Dakota, so you can use 4 lines. So we're spreading these tip-ups up. We got a mix of Arctic Warriors and standard tip-ups. We're using not only dead bait with smelt, we also have some sucker minnows as well. Some days it seems like sucker minnows, live bait works better than dead bait, and some days it just seems to switch. And the body of water we're on not only has really big pike, but it also has walleyes too.
Right, yeah, if you're on a body of water like this thing's cranking out some giants. I mean, a 20, 30-pound pike is possible, so it is worth the effort to set up your line of tip-ups. And there's one right there. There's a walleye moving in. If you're out jigging walleyes, you got a chance to catch pike in shallow. It's really a good system.
Don't flag.
Oh, you got a flag. All right, go Ty.
Go Ty. Go Ty. Go Ty. Jesus.
Oh, that's a dandy sign, huh?
It's coming back pretty easy
Yeah.
now.
Could be swimming with you.
Feels heavy.
Yeah.
Feels heavy.
Yeah, it's probably just swimming with you. There you go.
Give me a little bit of a burn on the hands. He's going pretty fast the other way.
Oh yeah.
Feels heavy. I'd be surprised if this isn't a big fish.
Shut off your system here.
Oh yeah, big fish. Nice
Nice
fish.
one, nice one.
Wish we would have got a bigger hole filled, but it's like 10-inch holes are definitely for these monster pike. You got to get these big noses up the hole.
There, now pull. There you go.
I got him that time. Look at that guy. Oh, bigger than I thought, man. Look at the size of that Jeffrey.
I like them.
South Dakota Giants. Oh my goodness.
They got a good look to them, don't they, brother? Nice.
I just saw his head and I went, oh, he's about 10, 12 pounds. And
Huh?
he's a little bigger than that, would you say, with that big gut?
Yeah, they're just a beautiful species, I'll tell you. Awesome.
Engulf that hook too. I mean, look how fat that thing is. That thing covered that 9-inch hole pretty easy. Beautiful fish. Let's get her unhooked. Maybe get a quick photo and get her released. Look at that beauty. What a South Dakota sow.
Right on.
That's what you come out here for. Let's get her back in the water. You know, we've talked about this before, but we've got a number of tip-ups out. Look at that thing, covers that hole up. Ooh, there she goes. And we've actually got a couple way back in this little bay, and we put these vulture systems on. And so this vulture system has actually a little alarm as a part of them. And what that does is, there's a magnet, and you just clip it onto the flag, and you set it onto here, and there's a connection there. And when that flag goes up, it actually takes that magnet away, and it sends it to this fob. And you can actually run up to 6 different tip-ups on this, which is pretty cool. So once that goes off, like this is tip-up number 1, the light goes off, you know exactly what tip-up to go to. So it's another way to kind of keep track of where your tip-ups are, and it's basically a strike indicator. So when it goes up, you know you got a fish on.
Got him.
Got him?
I got him. Yeah, nice fish. I've been marking them all day in here, but they usually do wait until about now before they get pretty active, you know. So this shows the old Waldos, huh?
It's a good sandwich size.
You betcha.
Oh.
Got one?
There's 2 of them. Another one coming up. There we go. Missed one, caught one. And I think the witchy hour started, don't you think, Jeff? They said like 2 fish come in. One missed it, put it right back down there, and this one might be a little nicer. Oh yeah, this will be a little nicer fish. Look at that. Still that ear size. Well, that is fun, huh?
You know, there's a variety of spoons on the market. I mean, tons. And we categorize them like high action spoons that have a lot of flash and flutter, some little dart, you know, just a lot of spoon options. You know, some of the most popular, Northland buckshot rattle. That thing's been around for 20 years now, and it has caught a ton of fish, you know. So you gotta have a good supply of spoons, and you'll gain confidence in them. And they're a lot of fun to fish. I like fishing spoons.
Oh!
Smoked it.
God!
Uh-huh.
Saw the back.
I like that aggressive behavior. Huh? That is so much fun. Just becomes a real video game when you get the system dialed in. Ooh, nice Waldo. Watching your electronics and the moves you can learn to get those fish to bite. And when you figure that out, nice Waldo. Beautiful fish. And that's just a whole lot of fun. You know, if you do it long enough, you'll learn certain moves you can make, whether you're using a jig and wrap, or I'm using this new coffin spoon from Northland Tackle, and it's got a rattle in it, and those fish will come up, and this one was hesitant. I pulled it away. I actually pull it away from the fish, which to the fish, it's like, that thing's getting away from me. And you'll see that, they'll increase speed, and I'll keep pulling it away. And he just kept swimming and engulfed it. So that's one move. Other times you gotta be real finessey and just shake it. You know, you might have to drop it to the bottom and just barely lift off the bottom, but there's ways to get these fish definitely to bite once you get them in. And you just gotta learn how they react and how they look on your electronics. It's a huge key. And once you get that dialed in, you'll start catching lots and lots of fish. So the sonar I love to use is the Helix 7. I'll show you folks how I got mine set up, and I just love it. I actually have 3 different things going on here that helps me, you know, read fish behavior. And that's the whole thing, is reading how those fish are reacting to your bait. Once I get set up on my spots, I basically have 3 sonars going. The traditional flasher, which when you first started ice fishing 20 years ago, it's just the flasher, and there's just a mark. The next one to the right of that is a sonar, and that's the graph that you see. The reason I like that is, say I say, hey, I'm talking to Ty, and I look down, it leaves a history. And so I say, oh, there was a fish there. And then the one to the far right is the RTS, and that's a vertical graph, and that marks the fish. So my eye is scrolling back and forth on this. Now I got a fish in there right now, and it's coming up real hard, right there. By doing that, you can really study fish behavior and make your move accordingly, and it really does. It'll help you. It's just an awesome game. It's a video game between you and the fish, and it's a blast. I love it.
Now, catching pike on tip-ups is great, but a much more visual and exciting way to catch them is by sight fishing. So let's join Chad Schilling as he breaks down the ins and outs of sight fishing for pike.
I've set up, I call it a sight fishing hole. I'm targeting a big walleye or pike. I mean, the pike are in here all the time, that's what you see. And sometimes when they don't want to hit the tip-ups, while you're looking at them, you can make them eat. I guess you can trigger that bite. Well, when I'm doing this sight fishing, I kind of use a 1-2 punch. I really have fallen in love with the big bite baits. This is a 6-inch. It just needs to attract them pike, and the walleyes I'm looking for have no problem eating this either. And this is just a split tail. I yank him around and he swims around in the water beautiful. And then my second lure on the other side, I use some kind of rattle bait. This is the rip and wrap. That's kind of my 1-2 punch, and I do rip and wrap every once in a while pretty hard, but for the most part, I just leave it hang there. And if I get my choice when they come in, if they're just kind of looking to feed on whatever's there, I always try to get them to eat this because my landing percentages are way higher. Oh, I got a pike. Oh, I lost him. Just wait, I will. Yeah, I got him. He inhaled my rip and wrap. And away we go. He come in and smash my jig. I don't know if you got it, but he's mad. Landing him ain't that easy in here. That's fun.
What you got going on in here?
Well, it seems like some days you just have to coax them fish. They're around, you know, they're looking at them, but I was sitting here jigging that big bite bait, and he come in like a rocket. I actually about fell off my bucket. I went backwards. He's a nice fish. He ain't a giant, but he's a giant most places, not here.
Yeah, Ty and I are set up out deeper off this point, targeting walleyes. Now a massive spread, like almost a decoy spread, right, Ty?
Yeah, we probably have a dozen tip-ups in shell for pike.
Right. And Chad here dug himself a big ice hole, thinking he can catch a giant pike, and
we're calling it a widescreen TV.
Yeah.
Right.
He's got himself something big.
Crazy.
Which is pretty cool. I mean, the guy's cut this for like a spear hole, but he's actually coming in. That fish moved in. You just sight fish it. That's part of the rush, isn't it?
You know, the whole thing about, I'm not against spearing. I just don't like to kill them bigger fish, and that's what you see. So they bite. I mean, they come in and eat, and this way you get to, I mean, this is ridiculous. We've been fighting this fish forever. If I'd have thrown a spear, it's over with already. So now we get to fight him, and we get done, we get to turn him back, and that's the coolest part. Who's gonna be the one to grab him? Ty?
Sure. Just don't fall in the hole, Ty.
Come on, now.
I'm not gonna land you.
Just hang on to my hood.
I mean, I can't believe the power of this fish.
There's the line,
Oh yeah, tail wrap now.
Oh,
It did come out.
Careful,
Oh
Ty.
yeah. Well, that would make sense.
I was just gonna pull her back and let her grab her head.
Dang nice fish. Holy cow. That's a nice fish.
Look at this. Look at this. It's got somebody's old tip-up hook in its mouth.
Nice job.
That was ridiculous.
Look at that, huh, guys?
Not exactly where I thought I hooked her when she came in, but.
Not every day you catch him in the tail there, Chad, huh?
Well, and I watched her choke it. She must have spun, and when I yanked, I guess she'd already spit it, and I got her that way, but it won't matter. She's going back, and she gave us a nice battle.
Oh, they're just heavy, though. Look how fat they are.
I know that's as long as I've ever fought a northern.
Oh, that's super cool, though. So you get to actually watch that thing bite.
Oh, man, twice. All right, the best part of this deal right here.
What was that, about 15, 20-minute fight, Chad?
Yeah. Oh,
there
boy.
she goes.
She still had a little left, didn't she? That was awesome.
Man, sight fishing is cool, but it's not always feasible depending on the conditions of the lake you're fishing. So here's a couple tip-up hacks from Mike Hehner to help you get those fish topside.
You know, I'm a tip-up fishing nut. And if you're anything like me, you like finding stuff that's new, cool, but practical to help you catch more fish. I've been snooping around this year and found some pretty neat stuff to add to your tip-ups, some accessories that should help you catch more fish. Let me show you what we got. All right, for all of you that like to fish walleyes after dark, we got a couple items for you here. One is made by Clam. It's the Night Bite tip-up indicator. And basically what it is, it's a battery operated device with a fiber optic strip. So when the flag goes up, it trips the mechanism inside, turns it red, and you get a blinking red light on this fiber optic strip. Really good, visible at night. This next one is another lighted tip-up. This one's made by Arctic Fishermen. It's battery operated. There's 3 AAA batteries underneath. There's a switch here. You turn the switch on, and when the flag goes up, it breaks the connection on the brass T-bar here, and you get a light. So the light's up there. This one works really good. It's very visible at night. Sitting in your wheelhouse, look out, you can see it clear as a bell. So really neat setup. This one's a little more spendy than other flags, but it's really a cool tip-up. This next one here is more audio than visual. Catfish Bells. Simple clamp-on catfish bells. They're typically designed for using in open water on the end of fishing rods for catfishing, but they work really well on a flag. Good if you're in a portable house, or if you're fishing outside and want to have a flag behind you. You don't have to look at it all the time. All you got to do is listen for this. Hear the bells ring and you got a bite. Pretty simple, effective, and inexpensive. This next one here is pretty cool. This is a wireless trailer hitch camera. This particular one's made by Aquaview. It's called the Eyeball. And basically what you're doing is you're putting the camera out here watching your flag. Now I got the monitor set up in the wheelhouse in the 12-volt SIG socket. So what I can do is have that plugged into the wall when I'm watching the TV or watching my fish locator, and just look up at it every once in a while and see if the flag's up. Really kind of a neat device. You don't have to keep popping up, looking out the window to see if your flag's up. So I thought this was pretty neat.
Thanks, Mike. Next, we're going to join Jason Mitchell as he breaks down his top 3 walleye lures.
You know, when it comes to walleye tackle, you know, a lot of it depends on where you're at, in the sense that if I were to pick 3 top lures for Lake Winnipeg, that's going to be completely different than Mille Lacs, completely different than, say, Bay de Noc. But by and large, you know, especially on a lot of inland water, you know, if I could just take 3 lure categories: your glide baits, your lead spoons or your rattle spoons, and then your flutter spoons. If I could just have those 3 lure categories, I'd be sitting pretty good. Obviously, you've got rattle baits, you've got dead sticks. You know, I mean, I can't tell you how many fish I've caught with a plain hook and a split shot, but, you know, by and large on a lot of inland lakes, those 3 lures. And so a lot of times with the flutter spoons, I like to use these thin diameter flutter spoons in shallow water, and I like to use them in clear water, and I like to use them whenever I can find fish suspended, just because they just fall through the water column a little bit slower, and I feel like I get luckier where I just pick off fish I didn't see to the side of the cone angle of the electronics. But by and large, if I could just have 1 lure, it'd probably be a glide bait like this Tikka minnow. I can't tell you how many thousands of fish I've caught on something like this or similar to this. And so glide baits are a big thing for me. You can tip them with a minnow head, you can catch fish with them untipped. Then obviously just your straight up spoon. This is just a pinhead minnow here. See all the paint shoot off that? That's what I've been using the last couple of days on Devil's Lake. But you know, this just basically just falls straight up and down. But the thing with lead spoons and rattle spoons is they fall faster. It can be an aid, especially if you're in deeper water, or they're also going to cut the current a little better. So if you're on, say, a place like Lake Oahe or Green Bay where you've got current, you know, sometimes these flutter spoons will get blown out of your cone angle, where you just use a little bit heavier lead spoon, it's going to stay in your cone angle of your electronics. And so those 3 things, a lot of times I like to fish pretty aggressively, especially if I'm not marking fish. If I see a fish and it doesn't want that aggressive cadence, I can always tone down and just, you know, just shake and try to work that fish up. And if that doesn't work, then I might have to go to dead sticks. I might have to go to just using live bait, sitting in one spot below a tip up or below a dead stick rod. But tell you what, those 3 lure categories have caught me a lot of fish over the years, especially on inland water.
Thanks, Jason. Next, we're going to join Jeremy Smith as he breaks down the depth highlight feature on a Hummingbird unit when targeting walleyes.
I can't overemphasize the power of quality mapping to have on the ice. It makes you so much more efficient. It's so much less work when you've got a good map. And I really feel this is the most important or powerful technology that's come along in angling. With the Lake Master card in this unit, I want to show you some of the features that I use primarily to help me find fish fast. The first is shallow water highlight, the second is depth highlight. Now, what these are doing is they're taking certain contours of the lake and turning them a color. So let's just say we're out walleye fishing and we wanted to pick that classic 18 to 22 foot zone to fish for walleyes. I'll just scroll that number up to 20 feet. Now this might change depending on the generation of Helix unit you have. You might be able to specifically set the high range of the depth and the low range of the depth, but in this case, we're gonna set it at 20 feet. I'm gonna scroll down and add this to plus or minus 2 feet, so that way 20 minus 2 is 18, 20 plus 2 is 22. So we've got that feature set up to be 18 to 22 feet visible. And here, look at that, how if that was your target zone, it just pops in this light shade of green, and you know, okay, these are some areas that I want to target. The other feature that I really like on here is shallow water highlight. For example, if I set my shallow water highlight to 10 feet, any water that is 10 feet and shallower will show up red on the map. I think this is a good place to start, especially ice fishing. If I think I'm going to be fishing a little bit deeper water, I want to know where all the shallow water is on the lake. It shows me the big flats, it shows me certain humps. So in this case, you can see the top of this little island cluster, that's all less than 10 feet. And then as we get into the shore and other areas like that, we can see this is all a really shallow flat with some nice 18 to 22 foot contours around it. So those features really make spots to fish pop.
Now to start off cool products here, I've got the Strike Master Light Flight Laser Bit. It comes in a 6 or 8 inch bit. The 6 inch is actually 4.4 pounds and the 8 inch is 5.3 pounds, so it's super light, it's super durable, and this actually fits to any Strike Master power head, so gas or electric, and it has a cordless adapter, so you can also use a cordless drill. All right, next up on cool products here, we've got the Suffix Invisalign Ice Fluorocarbon. Now this comes in 2 pound up to 8 pound. It's super strong, low stretch, but it's got super good abrasion resistant. Moving on down the aisle here, I've got the Clam Swirl Drop Tungsten Jig. Now this jig comes in 2 different sizes. It comes in 6 different colors. It has a gem on the top that gives off a lot of flash, and these colors are great bug imitation. Now here we've got the Tungsten Mud Bug by Northland. Now this comes in 2 different sizes, a 1/28 ounce and a 1/16 ounce. It has 8 different colors with glow options, and it works great paired with live bait or paired with the plastic. Now another must-have bait this winter is the Tungsten Fly Jig by VMC. Now this bait comes in 3 different sizes, from 1/64 ounce up to a 1/16 ounce. It comes in 10 different colors. It can be fished straight or works great paired with like a waxworm or a Euro larvae. This is just a big panfish catching machine. Now we've talked about jigs, but here I've got something you can pair with them, and that's the Northland Impulse plastics. Now you can buy these plastics in a pre-rig pack, or like I've got here today, in a 20 pack. Now they come in a variety of shapes and colors, and they work great paired with your favorite jig head. Moving on to a big fish bait. Here, I've got the Rapala Rap V. Now this blade bait comes in 2 different sizes, 2 inch, which weighs 3/8 ounce, or 2.5 inch, which weighs a 1/2 ounce. Comes in a bunch of different colors. It also has rattles in it, right there. Works great in open water or under the ice for some of those big walleyes, pike, and lakers. Now we just went through a bunch of options to catch fish. Now what if you want to keep fish? Well, I got a great option for you, and that's the Bubba electric fillet knife, lithium ion 4-blade set. Now this Bubba electric fillet knife comes with 4 different blades, 2 E-flex blades and 2 E-stiff blades from 7 inches up to 12 inches. It also has a spare battery, so you're gonna have a bunch of runtime, and this can handle any fish cleaning application you throw at it. We just talked about cleaning fish, so here I've got some fish batter options for you, and that's the Fleet Farm Back 40. They come in 6 different flavors, from home style over to sriracha, and there's something for the whole family to enjoy. The next item on the list I want to talk to you about is the Catch Cover Slush Bucket. If you're a wheelhouse angler, this is a must-have item. Now what you do is you set this over your hole, and you go to drill your hole, and all the slush and ice that you make creating the hole goes into the bucket instead of the floor of your fish house. Just makes cleanup a breeze. Now we just talked about a product for a wheelhouse, so now I've got a product for a portable house, and that's the Clam Small Light Stick. Now this light stick has 8 LED lights. It can be installed into the frame of your fish house or clipped on. It hooks up to a 12-volt battery, and it's great for night fishing. Keeping on the topic of portable fish houses, here I've got the Clam Nanook XL Thermal Hub House. Now this 2-man hub house has 23 square feet of fishable area. It's gonna fish 2 anglers real comfortably. It has a ton of room. It has a 900 denier shell, so it's gonna keep you nice and warm on those cold winter days. It also has 6 windows and 3 doors. This is just a great, lightweight, 2-man flip-over fish house. Now, that wraps up the cool products here at Fleet Farm. Let's head back to the Yeti, where I have a few more things to show you. All right, here we've got the tuned up custom rods, Vulcan. Now this rod is a medium heavy power rod. It's got a moderate fast action. It's got recoil guides, comes on a fiberglass blank, and it comes in sizes from 34 inches up to 44 inches. And this is just a big fish rod. You know, it's great for your big pike, big walleye, burbot, and Lakers. Now here I've got the St. Croix Premier Ice Combo. Now this combo comes in sizes from 24 inches up to 36 inches and empowers from medium light up to medium heavy. It comes paired with a PIC 500 size reel with a folding handle. It's got a solid carbon fiber blank and it's got great sensitivity. This is just a great multi-species ice combo. Now if you want to share your fish catches with your friends, I've got a great little device for you from Aquaview, and that's the AV Connect HD. Now here's how it works. You take a phone or tablet and you connect it to this device with a USB port. And then you take an HDMI cord and connect this device to your Aquaview camera. This is going to allow you to record and save anything you film underwater. Here I've got the Humminbird Ice Helix 5 Chirp and GPS Gen 3. Now this little baby's got it all. It's got your traditional flasher sonar, it's got 2D sonar, it's got interference rejection, it's got mapping so you can drop waypoints and see where you've been. It's got everything you're gonna want in a nice little package. Now that wraps up cool products. Make sure to head to your local Fleet Farm where you can find most of this awesome gear. Next, we're gonna head north to Saskatchewan to learn about some of the awesome fishing opportunities available. Welcome to Saskatchewan, Canada. Home to 100,000 lakes and rivers and some of the best fishing in the world.
Nice one? Oh yeah, nice one.
That's a good one.
Well, look at that guy. Beautiful fish.
You've been dreaming of a fishing trip up north.
How do you like that? Canada, fishing at its finest.
That wild, untouched wilderness. Uncrowded lakes and rivers. Let your soul find its purpose in the wide open waters of Saskatchewan. Some anglers may be familiar with a more widely known Saskatchewan fishing destinations like Reindeer Lake.
There we go. Big one, big one.
140 miles long and 60 miles wide. It's the second largest lake in Saskatchewan and it grows big fish of all different species.
Unreal.
Look at that. Reindeer Lake giant, huh?
Absolutely.
This is one of the premier locations to catch monster northern pike and lots of them.
Nick and I have been having an awesome time catching tons of jacks and some real giant fish that Reindeer is so well known for. So check this beauty out. If you want to have a great trip, catch tons of giant jacks, come visit Lawrence Bay Lodge and you'll see how awesome a trip like this can be. You're gonna feel like one of the best fishermen in the world. That was great, man.
Lake trout, you say? There are spots you can catch one every time you drop your bait.
Ooh, here we go.
Instant?
Yup.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's freaking unreal.
This is insane.
This is absolutely ridiculous. And I thought the pike fishing was good.
You got something good on there, bud.
Pretty solid fish.
Jeez, that's a
pretty
sweet
solid
fish, dude.
Another world famous lake in Saskatchewan is Tobin Lake.
Not very many lakes in North America grow the size of fish that swim in this lake.
Tobin is known for giant walleye,
Nice fish. Come here. There you go.
Moving up the scale,
Yeah,
buddy.
there you go.
What a place.
Yeah, I know. It's a fabulous fishery. It really is.
And giant northern pike.
Tobin Lake monster.
It's one of the few places in the world where you have a legitimate shot at catching a walleye in the teens.
Gorgeous fish, though.
Yes, I said teens. The Saskatchewan provincial record was caught here in 2005, which weighed 18 pounds and 4 ounces.
Saskatchewan gold right here.
Lac La Ronge, Croix Lake, and Lake Athabasca are some of the well-known Saskatchewan monster fish factories. What many people don't know is about the Saskatchewan ice fishing. Many lakes across the province, like Diefenbaker, Last Mountain, and Tobin, have lodges and facilities that cater to ice fishermen. Walleye, pike, burbot, perch, and lake trout. Make sure to bring some gloves and a strong back because they grow big here.
By far, the most exciting thing about ice fishing is landing one of these giant northern pike. You'll catch them in the summer, but you can really focus on them in the wintertime. My name is Chad Morris. I keep fishing day in, day out to always get a personal best. I'm always looking for a bigger fish. Ice fishing is becoming an institution in Saskatchewan. It gets you outdoors, have a bonfire on the ice, snowmobile, fresh fish. People love cooking on the ice. If you haven't slept on the ice, you got to give it a try. To hear the ice crack at night, to catch burbot on rattle reels at night is a one-of-a-kind experience. When you're winter fishing, you got to know where you want to go and you got to set up for the day. And usually at some point through the day, those fish are going to turn on. I've been fishing Last Mountain for about 35 years now. I think the thing I appreciate most about Last Mountain Lake is it's 60 miles long. There's all sorts of communities up and down the lake, lots of restaurants, great lodging, and we have world-class fishing here. Saskatchewan has fantastic winter fishing. There's lakes all over the place, very close to your urban centers. A lot of other hidden gems, you just gotta go out and try it.
It's fun to travel and explore new places for fishing. This past summer, a crew of us headed west to Montana on a walleye mission, and they even brought a few back to camp to eat. Here's a Fort Peck favorite recipe, cooked up by the Matson family, and that's walleyes on the half shell.
Here's some of the fish Michaela caught today. What do you think? Should we do some half shells for dinner?
Yeah!
All right, how do we cook them?
Skin side down.
Okay, so when we get our half shell, we take the rib bones out. And we take this little bone right out of here.
Yep, and then
We split down that bone to the hide. Saw a little bit on the hide. Pull the zipper out. And there's your half shell for your seasoning.
see, no bones. And don't eat
Don't eat the hide?
Those aren't edible, even if you cook it.
All right, how do we cook them?
Put lemon pepper and cilantro and a bunch of different like stuff on it.
So do we use Italian dressing?
Yes.
What's that? Wow.
Is that worth it?
That was worth it. And put it on the grill, and when it's done, squeeze it with a little lemon, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And it'll be absolutely delicious.
He's been doing this for years.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite ways to eat them too. Walleye on the half shell. You like that one, sweetie? There you are, love. Enjoy.
There's the plate.
There it is.
Let's living. What time is it? Gordy, show your arm. What's the time to do?
It's time to cowboy up.
Thanks, Michaela, for running the GoPro during the fish cleaning. Now that wraps up this episode. Make sure to head to our website where you can sign up for our newsletter. We'll also be releasing new content each week on our social platforms. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the ice.
And she just sprays them off so there's like no scales or anything just written there to bite.
She's gonna spray you off, going around on the plate.
Me!
You spray her, I'll hold her.
Why would you do that? I'm your only daughter. And you're probably wondering, what do we do with these fish guts? They just sit there and rot? Okay, I'm gonna press start. Run. What in Tiber just sprays fish guts everywhere?
Right. It's the real blender, huh?
This one's nice. It's just calm, collective.
All right, sweetie.